Well, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and get started.
Very good.
Thank you all for coming out today. Again, I'm Kelly Cross, president of the Old Goucher Community Association, and I really appreciate your attendance. I know there's a lot of other demands on your time today for the Women's March, but we're thrilled to have you here in the neighborhood. So behind me is a book by Zoe Leonard. She's a New York-based artist, one of the most renowned artists of her generation. She wrote this poem, I Want a President, in 1992 in support of Eileen Miles, who was a lesbian poet running for president the same year that Bill Clinton, Ross Perot, and George H.W. Bush were running. Zoe has always been very sort of out front, very direct, and I think that's expressed in this particular work. What really strikes me about it is that it pulls no punches. It's so in your face, and it really speaks to something that is so relevant more than 2 decades later. You imagine this was written in 1992. Here we are in 2018, and we read these words, and they still ring so true for us. Of the poem, Ms. Miles said, I'm going to quote her here. She said, I am interested in this space. In the space this text opens up for us to imagine and voice what we want in our leaders, and even beyond that, what we can envision for the future of our society. I still think that speaking up is itself a vital and powerful political act. Even though we're here today on the anniversary of Donald Trump's inauguration as President of the United States, I think that this poem speaks just as much to what's going on here at the local level as it does speak to what's going on federally. When we imagine that we live here in a city, in Baltimore, a city that's in crisis, a city that's had over 1,000 black men killed on our streets in the last 3 years, a city where we have 14 neighborhoods within walking distance of here where the average resident has a life expectancy lower than the average resident of North Korea, 8 neighborhoods where that life expectancy is lower than in war-torn Syria. It tells us, it shows us that we have a problem. We have a problem with our political establishment. We have a problem with our establishment in general, with the way that we've done politics, with the way that we've approached how we deal with our city. So with that, I would love to introduce Jamie Grace Alexander. Jamie is a beautiful new Baltimore resident, a Baltimore City resident. She's a member of the Baltimore Transgender Alliance and a poet. And she's going to read the poem for us today. Please, Jamie.
What's behind me so you can read along while I'm reading? I want a dyke for president. I want a person with AIDS for president, and I want a fag for vice president, and I want someone with no health insurance. I want someone who grew up in a place where the earth is so saturated with toxic waste that they didn't have a choice about getting leukemia. I want a president that had an abortion at 16, and I want a candidate who isn't the lesser of two evils. And I want a president who lost their last lover to AIDS, who still sees that in their eyes every time they lay down to rest, who held their lover in their arms and knew that they were dying. I want a president with no air conditioning, a president who has stood in line at the clinic, at the DMV, at the welfare office, and has been unemployed and laid off and sexually harassed and gay bashed and deported. I want someone who has spent the night in the tombs and had a cross burned on their lawn and survived rape. I want someone who has been in love and been hurt, who respects sex, who has made mistakes and learned from them. I want a black woman for president.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause for that one. 2020, y'all. I want someone with bad teeth, someone who has eaten hospital food, someone who cross-dresses and has done drugs and been in therapy. I want someone who has committed civil disobedience. And I want to know why this is impossible. I want to know why we started learning somewhere down the line that a president is always a clown. Always a John and never a hooker. Always a boss and never a worker. Always a liar, always a thief, and never caught.
Wow.
that, I would invite you all to join us for cocktails at Gallery Martise, provided by Brendan Dorr. A new bartender is going to be opening up a new place here in our neighborhood very soon.
Nice.
And also, I just want to say on behalf of Zoe, she unfortunately could not be with us here today. She's in Texas, but sent her regards, and we'll be visiting the site soon. So perhaps we'll have her here for another event. All right, let's head on over. Thank you all.